Welcome, everybody. Today we've got an exciting lesson about magic, mystery, and the beautiful city of Bogota. So we will start out with the long-term or the title of the course, sorry, the title of the class today. Olga, if you want to read the title for us.
Yes, travel at Chorro de Quevedo, a cloak, a curse, and the present perfect.
Okay. I'm not sure which of those is the scariest, but probably the latter. Let's have Laura, if you want to read the long-term objectives.
We learning about this? We are working on participle because they are essential for using perfect tense. We're building storytelling skill using described language to help learn engage in conversation.
Okay, perfect. So we have a couple warm-up questions. We'll start with Paula, if you want to read and answer the first question.
Okay. Have you ever visited La Candelaria or another historical place? Yes, I have been in the Candelaria, I guess one time in my life, or two times.
Okay. And what did you think of it?
Mm, well, it's not my favorite place in Bogota because it's very crowded, and for me, it's a little bit dirty. I don't know if the correct expression, but you a lot of garbage in the street. So,
Yeah,
but
that'd be, yeah.
good architecture and a nice restaurant. Yes.
Um, well, interesting. I lived in La Candelaria for a month, so I guess I've spent more time there than you have. But that was like 15 years ago, so I don't remember so well. Okay, Jessica, if you want to answer the same question, get a different perspective on the Candelaria or
Um,
historical places.
I have visited La Candelaria, but the same the same that Maria Paula, I just have been there like once or maybe two times. I like the theaters that are close to there. The food is a bit expensive from my perspective. I think that we could get a lot of uh, other dishes or similar dishes in another places here in Bogota that is really big. But I really like the environment there. Sometimes there are, I don't know how to say that, like people that tell
Oh
tales,
yeah,
tales,
cuenteros.
tales.
Like cuenteros, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we would call them like storytellers.
Yes, I really like that. And I have seen also like shows and dancers. It's really uh, great, like to be in. No, I don't know how to say entretenido.
Entertained, yeah.
Entertained, yes.
Okay, so let's unpack this. So interesting that and are you from Bogota originally, Jessica?
No, I'm from
No.
Mhm.
From where?
Medellin.
Medellin. Okay, so Paisa and Bogotana.
Yes.
Um, yeah. Okay, but neither neither particularly big fan of we say like a big fan.
Yeah.
Like Like if you're like trying to be like polite, you say like I'm not a big fan of X, um, means I don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like so like I was saying like neither of you are a big fan of La Candelaria. Like it's a nice way of saying that you don't like it. Like, it's softer. Um so that would be one. And then instead of saying one or two times, we can say once or twice. It's when you get to three or more that you start counting.
I've
Um,
only been once or twice. Okay.
yeah. So yeah, so you have one time, once, two times, twice.
Twice.
Does anyone know three times? Three times.
Three times.
That's a trick question. And what do you call it? Like outdated. Yeah. So there is a word thrice, but nobody uses it. We just say three times. So trick question. The theaters. You said that the food was expensive. That implies that possibly it is worth the amount of money that you're paying for it. If you think that it's like too expensive, it's not worth the money, then you would say overpriced.
Okay.
So it could be either one. Like it's your decision. Yeah, I don't question.
Overpriced.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay. Um, yeah. I've heard the La Puerta Falsa is supposed to be really good. Um, and then the cuenteros, the storytellers, actually they have one of the main spots for them to meet is the Chorro de Quevedo, which we're going to be hearing about today. So, okay. Let's do Jamie. Next question, this one here that I have highlighted.
Have you seen or read a story with magic? Yes, I read. I yes once I have read a story with magic when I was a child.
Okay. Um, so let's see. Have you read the Harry Potter books, Jamie?
Yes, I like read books
Oh,
anywhere
but
books.
Harry Potter? Do you like Harry Potter?
Yes, Harry Potter is good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he's magic. A story about magic. We'll say that's a story about magic. About magic. Okay. And then we'll go to Laura. Um, if you want to answer this one here.
Have you ever heard of duende? No, I never heard.
Okay.
Duendes.
Duendes. Let's see. Can any of your classmates help you out? Does anyone know of duendes?
No,
No.
no, I never heard about the duendes.
I have heard about it.
Okay. Tell us.
My mom, let me think how I think going to say that. Eh, when my mom was teenager,
Hmm.
uh, she told me that when she was teenager, a duende, I don't know, visited her in her dreams.
Oh,
And when that happened, she she couldn't breathe, right? Breathe,
that's great. Yeah.
breathe, and then she awake very scared, and I don't know. My grandmother told us that while she was dreaming, she she were not moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Uh-huh,
she
at
was,
all.
it's like
But
paralyzed.
inside of her dreams, she was trying to move and to try to do something to being awake. And
Mm.
she said that she teach that she saw a kind of, I don't know, man, a little man
Mm-hmm.
in her, I don't know, in her dream.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened a lot, like during more than 5 years.
Oh, like to her, like she had multiple dreams like that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
Until
wow.
she got until she got married,
Mm-hmm.
and
Got married. Yeah.
that's it. She, I don't know. Our grandmother said that that it was happening because someone fall in love with her, and I don't know. It was like it was he was doing something to bother her, or I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no, a really interesting story. A good word from this is sleep paralysis. Um, that's when you're like awake but you can't move your body. Yeah, like people have that. It's very, very frightening. Um, and then you described the duende that it's kind of like a little person, like a dwarf in English, I think. Yeah. So, but yeah, from Colombian mythology. Okay. Cool. Oh, dang it. Sorry. Okay. Let's, I'm gonna um, I'm gonna figure out how to not do that at some point. But in the meantime, we have some vocabulary. So we will have Laura, if you want to read the first three words for us.
Okay. Clock, clock. A long, loose coat with not sleeves. She wore a dark lock. That movie like smoked. Witch, a woman with magical powers. The witch raised her hand and whispered a spell. Rope, to take something by force. Their men tried to rob the woman in the plaza.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, it's good. And then we will do Olga, if you want to do the next three.
Yes, a creature, a living being, often magical. Strange creatures appeared out of the shadows. Spell magic words that cause something. She cast a spell to protect herself. Whisper, to speak very quietly. She whispered something in a strange language.
Perfect. Okay, cool. And then the last two to Jamie.
Duende, a small magical creature from folklore. The duende dances around the fire, sparkly, to shine with small bright lights. The cloak sparkled with golden trips.
Mhm. No. And bright means like a strong light, or like an intense light. So, any questions on the vocabulary?
What is cast? Is like saying in the
Cast is like to use a spell, like typically the way that someone casts a spell is with words. Um, but the key thing is that yeah, like cast is like activating a spell.
okay. It's a verb, right?
Yeah, it's a verb. Yeah. So someone would
Spell
whisper
is
words and cast a spell.
spell is a noun.
Spell is a noun. Yeah.
Okay.
In this context, yeah, spell is a yeah. I mean, also you can spell a word, like A, B, C.
Ah, okay.
Um,
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
but yeah, in this case where we're talking about spell, like a magic spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
I we could say she say a spell or it have to use cast.
She said a spell.
No?
It doesn't sound very good to my ears.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But you could read a spell because a spell can also be like a written, but you could
Mhm.
read a spell. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
yeah. 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 Spells are like based on rituals. So yeah, like even like chanting or something. Like, yeah, sorry, getting carried away. Okay. Other questions on vocabulary? Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't understand very well the meaning of clock.
Oh,
The first
cloak.
one. The first one.
Yeah, let's
I
let's
don't.
um let's pull up some pictures. So these are cloaks.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't always have to have a hood. Um, but yeah, like this like guy here is wearing like this is an
Mm-hmm.
example, but yeah, in the
Okay.
story it's more imagining,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
kind of wizardly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
Spent is
Mm-hmm.
layer is the same word or are different?
Layer?
Uh-huh.
No, layer has many meanings. You're thinking like that, right? Layer, Maria Pablo?
Yes.
Yeah,
Es,
so yeah, layer has
en español.
so many meanings.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
like a document has like different layers. The
And also
blockchain has different layers.
a chicken.
Yeah. Um, but if we look at like clothes, let's see. Yeah, like this is a good example that you have like your base layer, which is like underneath, like maybe like a t-shirt or like a long sleeve shirt. You have your mid layer, which would be like a sweater, and then you have your outer layer, which would be like a coat. Um, so yeah, no, that didn't work out. View file. Yeah. And then also with pants, you could have thermals, jeans, and then maybe like rain pants on top, like as a layer. So yeah. Okay. We're gonna keep moving. Grammar focus. Let's have Laura, if you want to read for us the grammar focus.
We use the present perfect to talk about experience and actions that happen at in an unspecific time in the past or that have an effect on the present structure. So yes, plus have, has, plus past participle. Example, I had I had seen a duende in a ring. She has walked through the old plaza many times. They has disappeared without a trace.
Okay. Yeah, so here we're talking about things that happened, right? Unspecified time. So we don't know when something occurred. Okay, so we're going to highlight that with green. And then here we have an example. I have seen a duende. We don't know when. It could have been as a child, it could have been yesterday. But we know that we have seen one. Um, the same as Paula and Jessica both told us that they had been to La Candelaria once or twice. We know it wasn't tomorrow. We know it's not the future, but we don't know when it was in the past. Um, if we're talking about like an action and we want to focus on the action being completed, we might say like I went to La Candelaria, like focusing on that action like started and stopped. But if we're trying to focus on the connection to the past, not the with the present, then we use I have been. So like I have been to the Candelaria and I want to go again. Um, okay. And this was just like, yeah, I didn't plan that one, I swear. Um, so yeah, that's interesting that that showed up. Okay, the past participle. So we will have Paula, if you want to read for us. Let's have you read this. Yeah.
Okay. Regular past participles in ED, example, walk, whisper, and protect. Irregular past participle have special forms. Example, gone, seen, been, and done. A negative form. Subject plus have not or haven't. Hasn't plus past participle. They haven't robbed anyone before. Question form, have, has, plus subject, plus past participle. Has she conjured other creatures before?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I imagine that this is familiar, at least somewhat. Let's see, Olga, have you seen these concepts before? Have you worked with the present perfect?
Yes, I have seen that kind of grammar before. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Olga, you'll help us with the irregular past participles. Okay, if you want to read for us this chart.
Okay. B, past participle form, been. The forest had been hidden by a powerful spell for centuries. Go, gone. Where have all the magic creatures gone? No one has seen them lately. See, seen. The young wizard had seen the future in his crystal ball. Take, taken. The object had been taken from its usual place.
Right? So we saw above that the normal, not normal, the regular, sorry, past participle is ed, walked, whispered, protected. Irregulars, gone, seen, been, done. Um, so that's what we're saying here. Okay. And then also on the other page, write, written, a powerful charm had been written in an old spell book. Um, any questions on this grammar? I know that this is review for some of you, but if any of you have any questions about past participles or present perfect.
Is a past action that don't happen in the present, only passing in the past for not the specific time is right or
So an action that happened in the past, yes. That it's not at a specific time, yes. Um, could it still be happening in the present? Yeah, it could still be happening in the present. Um, like if I said like I have lived in Bogota for 15 months, um, like this has been, like happening for 15 months, but it's still happening.
okay.
But
Begin
if I
in the
said, oh,
begin
go
in the
ahead.
past and continue in the present.
Not necessarily. It's connected to, like it has an effect upon. Um, so like if I say like I have been to Venezuela, like that like maybe has like an effect on me, like, oh, like I have had that experience. Um, but sometimes like it says or because sometimes we want to focus on like the connection we have to an experience, and other times we want to focus on like when it happened or that it was completed. So it could be two different things. But yeah, a lot of
Okay.
like if you say like never, like I have never done something, um, like it makes more sense than I didn't do something because with haven't, there's the possibility that something will happen in the future. Um, so like if I say like um, I have never been to Argentina, I could go in the future. But if I say I didn't go to Argentina, like it's a completed action. Like it means like it'll never happen. Um, which the only way for that to be true is for there to be like no more Argentina or no more Spence, both being, tragic. So, um, yeah, we would say like I've never been. Okay. Other questions on past participles or perfect, present perfect? Okay. Yeah, I know it's a complicated concept and there's a lot more to it than, what I can include on one little page. But I wanted to at least take a stab at doing a little bit of it. And we're good on time. Yay. Okay, cool. So we are going to look at pronunciation. So to help with pronunciation, I'll say the words first. Um, ending sounds of regular past participles, i.e., the ed, have a voiced d, an unvoiced t, or a ed. That these are the three sounds: d, t, or ed. And so here are examples. We have d, disappeared, robbed. We have t, talked, walked, and we have ed, protected, wanted. Now, obviously, I'm like overemphasizing the last part to make a point. The point being that these are, words where it changes, that it's different depending on the last letter. So if it ends in on R, disappeared. If it ends in a B, robbed. And so with this lesson and future lessons, we'll go through and we'll look at kind of what the pattern is. But I want, who do I want? Jessica. I'm going to read this line and then I'll have you repeat it. So this is the D line. So disappeared and robbed.
Disappeared and robbed.
Okay. Yeah, good. Okay. Jamie, the T line. So talked and walked.
Talk, walk.
Yeah, so try and do like a little exaggeration on the last, the T at the end. Walked, talked.
What? What? Talk, walk.
Okay. Yeah, keep working on it. Because if you don't, sometimes it sounds like either like it's not clear which one it is, or so yeah, keep working on that. Um, and then I'll have Laura. So the ed sound, so protected and wanted.
Protected, wanted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, very good. Okay. Yeah, and we can see the contrast with like gone, been, seen, words like that. So the rule, insofar as there are rules in English, verbs that end in T or D have a ed sound. So if the word ends in a D, ed. If it ends in a T, ed. Okay. We're gonna go to Paula. You're gonna read the examples. Do you want me to read them first, or do you feel confident reading them?
Please, Spain, go ahead.
Okay. So avoided, decided, needed.
Okay, avoided, decided, and needed.
Very good. Okay. And then Olga, you're going to help out with the T ending or verbs ending in T. So ed again,
Yeah.
started,
Sta-
visited, wanted.
Started, visited, wanted.
Yeah, very good. Okay, cool. Questions on pronunciation before we move to the text?
Spain's the only rule that the English have is that one. Only the verb ending in D and T.
No, there's a lot more to it. Let me see if I can pull it up really quickly. Because yeah, it would be worth worth mentioning. Yeah, here we go. Okay, copy image. Okay. And I will share this document with you all, so you will all have access to it. But yeah, so I figured it'd be easiest to focus in on the ed sound. Um, but we also have for T and for the T and the D sounds. And I know like as like a learner at a B1 level, like this might all seem like rather intimidating, but as you learn like more and more words, you're gonna start to get used to the sound of English. And the same way that like for me to say la agua, like I have to like really like force my mouth to do it, because it doesn't sound right. La águila, la aula. They're all words that end in A. La dia, they end in A. They should be female, but they're not. And so the more that you like study English and get used to it, you're gonna come across a new word, um, and you're gonna go, oh, it has a k sound. Looked. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds right. But at this point in your language journey, sadly, you're just gonna have to memorize some of this.
Thank you very much, Spain.
Yeah. The bad news. The bad news. It's like, do you want the good news or the bad news? In this case, just bad news. Okay, our story, The Witch at Chorro de Quevedo. Um, and we will start with Jessica. So Jessica, you get to read the title and the first paragraph.
Okay. The Witch at Chorro de Quevedo. It's a foggy evening in La Candelaria. The old streets are quiet and the air feels heavy. Near the Chorro de Quevedo Plaza, three men have been following a strange woman. She wears a long, dark green cloak that sparkles in the light of the street lamps.
Okay. We're gonna go to Jamie. You're gonna look at the same paragraph and you're gonna tell me where do you see present perfect?
Okay, the men have been whispering as they plan the rope her. She has
Yeah.
already passed the fountain. Let's move. One of them says, they step out of the shadows, but before they can speak, the woman has turned around without a word. She lifts her hand, and the present perfect is the first sentence,
Okay.
and second
Tell me what
sentence.
what the example is.
The men have been whispering.
Yeah, have been whispering.
And yes, I think she has already passed the fountain. She has already passed. Yes. Mm, and no more in this paragraph.
Okay. And the hidden one here has turned around. Yeah, that's a phrasal verb. No less. And then Jessica, I'm gonna have you go back to that first paragraph and show us if there's any present perfect in there.
Mhm. In the second line, three men have been following a strange woman.
Cool.
I don't
Um,
see her.
yeah, I think that was the one. Yeah. They don't all get full of yeah. Okay. Laura, if you want to read this one for us.
Her eyes glowed like fire. Blue sparks rise into the air. A small goblins creatures have appeared duendes. Their eyes shine with stranger energy. The men have found themselves frozen with tears. A flash of light and the woman has disappeared.
Okay. And Laura, what are the examples of present perfect?
The man has found
That have found themselves? Okay. Are there any other examples?
the creature have been disappeared.
Okay. Yeah. So the creatures have appeared,
And the last part, a woman has disappeared.
has disappeared. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then we have Paula for the last part.
Okay. Since that night, people in La Candelaria have told stories about the witch of the Chorro. No one has dared to rob her again. The duendes have stayed, stayed which sorry, stayed hidden, and the legend has life on, whispered in the streets of Bogota under the glow of the street lamps.
Okay.
Okay, okay. Eh, hmm, I'm not sure, but La Candelaria have told histories. La Candelaria
Yeah,
have
the
told.
people have told the stories, yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay, okay. No one has dared to rob her again. Okay, no one has dared to rob her again.
Yeah, has dared.
Mhm. Mm. And the duendes have is sorry, it means this
Oh,
pronunciation
stayed.
stayed with T stayed with
Yeah, with the
D
D sound. Yeah, stayed.
stayed. Okay, thank you. The duendes have stayed hidden.
Yeah.
Mm, legend has life on.
Mm.
Mm, wow, a lot of was participle. That's all.
One more? No, just kidding. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, and I mean pronunciation is a balancing act, or not a balancing act, sorry. Um, like you have to find a middle ground between like getting everything right and like being fluent. Um, like we call it like precision versus fluency. Um, precision versus fluency. Um, like someone like me or Danielle, like we're like over here on like the fluency side, like just speak, speak, speak. Um, I think I can say that. He's not gonna watch this. Um, but other people are more on the precision side, like they want to get it right, they want to sound good. Um, somewhere in the middle between the two, that's the place to be. So yeah. But yeah, it is good to yeah be aware that there are rules and things like that. Um, okay. Questions on the story?
In the third paragraph,
Mm-hmm.
no, I lost the word. And in the second paragraph, in the last part, without a word, she lifts her hand. What means lifts?
So
Lifts.
lift is to move something upwards. So like if you have a question in class, you lift your hand. Um,
Like rise?
yeah, raise, yeah, yeah.
Rise. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Mm.
Mm. And in the last part, in the last paragraph, the streets of Bogota under the glow of the street lamps glow, what it means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one. Um, let's see. I thought about including that one in the vocabulary, but I didn't. So glow is like to like put out light. So like a light bulb glows, but typically it's like referring to more like a dim light that comes out. So like not like a strong light, like a soft light. Yeah. But it is similar to shine. Do you know
Okay.
shine?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Okay.
like if you're talking about fireflies or like different things like that, like it can be sometimes like a softer light that they're putting out. They're not shining, they're just glowing.
Okay. It's like
Yeah.
a light, but uh, not intense.
Yeah, not so intense. Yeah,
Not
usually.
so
Yeah.
intense. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, okay. other questions? Okay. I wanna just look at that like we have here like the men have been following her. Like this is a good example of present perfect because we don't know how long it's been happening. We don't know when it started or when it will end. We just know that there's this ongoing action that has been happening. So we don't have a clear sense of the time. They have been whispering. We don't know when. Um, she has already passed. Again, like we don't know when she passed the fountain, but we know that it's like an ended action. Um, at some point, she passed the fountain. Um, this one here, like the before they can speak, the woman has turned around. Not the best example. Um, that it does work, like they were about to speak, but like before that happened, this other thing had already happened. So maybe if it was like the woman has already turned around, like something like that, but it's not the best use. So, and then this last paragraph, this is really like what like present perfect was designed for. Um, people have told stories. Like it's just like kind of it has happened. We don't know when, we don't know where, because it doesn't matter. Like, if I told you, like, on Tuesday, people told stories about the witch of the Chorro, you'd be like, that's weird. Like, why are you telling me that? Um, but if I say, like, people have told stories, like, okay, like, I don't care when. I just know that it's happened. Um, no one has dared to rob her. Well, if no one did it, then like like you can't have it's sort of like the never, like she's never been robbed. No one has robbed her, like because there's not like a specific point in time that we're referring to. Um if we said like no one robbed her again, it would mean that like there was no possibility of that happening in the future. Like either she was like gone or dead or, somehow like beyond being able to be robbed. So if we say no one has dared to rob her again, it leaves open the possibility that she is still alive and could be robbed in the future. Um, the duendes have stayed hidden. They could come out. They have that potential in the present to appear again. So, yeah. Okay. Um, in case you can't tell, I enjoy the story. Hopefully you do too. Okay. Real quick. And all like when I send this to you, there will be the past participle challenge. So you can go through regular versus irregular past participles. There will be the comprehension questions. You can, email me or text me if you want the answers. But let's do reflection. So we will go to Maria Paula. What were your strengths during today's lesson?
Um, I'm not sure. For me, it's a new topic. Or well, I
Uh-huh.
think in my school, I probably learned about past participle, but right now it's a new topic. So I guess I don't have a strength in the class.
You can.
Well, maybe some words, but
Okay. For me, my strengths was my curiosity about a new topic,
perfect. Yes, for me.
my willingness to learn. There we go. There's always a strength. There's always a strength.
Thank you. It's a
Okay.
positive way to say my words.
Okay. Laura, last question. What vocabulary was new or difficult for you?
was a little difficult maybe for understand all the history because there are a lot of new words, but it's a good story. Never hear about that story before.
Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. Thank you, everybody. It was great to have you in class. We'll see you again in 1 week, same time, same place. And have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you
thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you very
Bye.
much. Have a nice time. Bye-bye.
Yeah, my pleasure.